Hey, hey Emily, how are you doing, girl? Today is the 15th of June, 2019, and I just want to say hello, good morning. How are things today? I am doing good. I had a fun day yesterday. Yesterday, I went to Santa Barbara and visited with friends during an, uh, a session or program called Authentic Relating. It's something I've been into lately. And when I say lately, maybe the last 3 years, which is a long time. I've been into authentic relating for a long time. It's just gaming. It's just games, communication games, where people come together and they play games together. All kinds of fun stuff. Anyway, I've been enjoying that. I enjoyed that last night. I enjoyed talking with friends. It's so good to get together with them. I had actually quite a number of good experiences last night, talking with people and sort of getting to know what their world is like. Some of them are parents and they're working working with their young ones. One of my friends just had a 1 year old. She had a child recently who's 1 year old, and she's working with that. And then I have another friend. She has a daughter who's age 13. And so she's working through that relationship, and it's kind of neat to get these new perspectives with other parents and figure out what they're working with and what they're doing in their lives and how they're coping. I find those kind of exchanges very valuable. I appreciate the insight. And one thing that strikes me is really there's, even though all of our situations are different, like having a child that's 1 year old or 13 years old, or me having you, Emily, um, even though our situations are different, it's quite interesting how I don't know, how a lot of what we do is the same. You know, we each want to be, good parents. I know I do. In fact, I have a strong desire to be a good father to you, and it's powerful. I'm surprised how powerful it is, and it's just part of who I am, clearly, and it is. I don't know. I think it's the reason why I persist when I probably should be giving up. it's I don't know. It's just what I do, and I don't really have an explanation for it. I would guess its original roots are in evolution, the evolution of our species, the evolution of invertebrates, mammals. Who knows? Who knows? So I guess I'm feeling a little slow this morning. I'm not sure why that would be. Um, Today is a special day. In fact, today and tomorrow are special in that I'm going to spend much of the day just working on my costume for the solstice parade. Yesterday, I went down to the solstice parade workshop for the second time, and got to look at some of the projects that were underway. Pretty impressive. Um, some people really have it together. One thing I like about the solstice parade is how color is used. Color is just so important. Having a theme, to color themes in groups of people, um, it's critically important. Who knew that There's something about color which provides just instant novelty. If you could just look at my shirt today, why not? It's you probably can't see it that well through the camera, but it's kind of purple. And here's the thing, I don't wear purple all that often, although I do have one other purple shirt. And um, there's something, I don't know, bold about the purple. I don't know. It's kind of funny how colors can sort of impart their own meaning to a costume or um, like the color of a building or some kind of vehicle. It's got colors have their own personality, you know, their own meaning that people have given that color through transmitted through cultures, through millennia. Um, it's pretty interesting. So, interestingly enough, I'm feeling a little bit tired right now. It's kind of funny that I don't know if it's actually not funny. It's like, but the fact is, I actually didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I got in rather late. It was like 11:30 when I got in. I had a really good time at the Authentic Relating session in Santa Barbara, and then it took me an hour to drive home. I mean, I didn't leave easily until like 10:30 at night. And I have a tendency to wake up early anyway. So anyway, we'll see how today goes. And a little bit less sleep than optimal. One of the great things about being single is that I can take a nap anytime I want to. I could sleep during the day at any time, which is a luxury. I mean, I think it's really luxurious. I mean, it's something that movie stars do. They get to take a nap anytime they want. People who are well off, well to do, could just take a nap whenever. And I have that same luxury too. Isn't that wonderful? I seem to remember that when I was married, it was tough to find time to take a nap. Like, I'd have to go into my bedroom and close the door or something like that. And even that didn't feel right somehow. It's kind of funny. Nowadays, I don't have any qualms at all. I just lay myself on the floor or on the sofa and turn out the light and go to sleep. It's pretty funny. I read an article the other day. Actually, I didn't read an article. I just read the title of an article, and it said, "Sleep is your superpower." And I've been puzzling over that statement for the last couple of days. I don't quite understand it. What does it mean to say sleep is your superpower? Oh, boy. I had a good time yesterday at that Authentic Relating. I met a lot of interesting and fun people that I didn't know before. One of the great pleasures of my life is learning and getting to know about new people. There's something that every time it's novel and interesting, I'm curious about what their story is and how they tell it. There are just so many people in the world, and so this fascination I have with other people never has to be extinguished. I mean, I could meet new people every day of my life, 20 people every day of my life, and still not meet everyone. So, I'm so happy that pleasure comes easy to me. I think about early man, the ancient peoples who lived in tribes, not just 100,000 years ago, but like 200,000 years ago and longer. And it occurs to me that these people lived in small groups, 15, 20 people, maybe 50. if they were lucky. And I can imagine a person might stay with the same 50 people their entire life. Even if they live to age like 30 or something like that, 35. They might never know anyone but those 50 people in their entire life. Isn't that amazing? Now, I know a lot more than 50 people. And what I think is interesting is how willing I am to meet other people and how willing other people are to meet me. I feel, for me, that's very gratifying. It's like, I say to myself, you want to meet me? Oh, thank you. It's like a gift that other people introduce themselves to me. It's like, oh, and I'm always sort of flattered by it. I'm so pleased that that's the custom in the United States and in the world. People need other people. That's how we survive and thrive. For example, I did not build this computer. I did not build this cam, this desktop video cam. I did not build this microphone that I have beside me. I did not build this home that I'm sitting inside. Who built it? Other people. Other people in China, other people in Japan, other people in the United States. Other people built pretty much everything I've got. In fact, is there anything that I'm wearing that I built myself? Nope. It's all built by other people. I want to thank the builders of everything that I have, everything that I value and cherish, everything that gives me wonder and pause, everything that makes me feel good. All the chocolate bars I've ever eaten have been made by either people or machines made by people who were all not me. Thank you. Thank you to the engineers who built the candy bar machine for my chocolate and my dark chocolate. Thank you very much. For my 70% cocoa chocolate bar. Thank you to the people who picked the Cocoa Pods and made the milk chocolate and the dark chocolate. Human beings are so funny. I just I was thinking last few days about money and what money is, energy, an agreement, a contract. What is money? What is value? How do you add value? It just occurred to me that if human beings had infinite energy, let's say like they were like Energizer bunnies, then there may not be any need for money. No. Even if we had infinite energy, we'd still need money. Because, people would. It's really just a means of exchange, so we don't have to barter with physical objects. If there was going to be any sort of trade between people with infinite energy, and there might very well be people, because you can't know everything. Even if you had infinite energy, it takes time to know stuff. And you would need, I'm pretty sure that you would need money even if there was infinite energy around. But I'll tell you, that would be, if people had infinite energy, then there may not be any need for there would be a reduced need for money, I think. I mean, what would you pay for? Somebody else to do something for you? Well, wouldn't you just do it? It would have to come down to time. We'd have to not only have infinite energy, but infinite lifespans. And then we wouldn't need money. Because having infinite lifespans is not enough. You'd also need infinite energy. I'm trying to think of the society that would naturally have no money. What society would that be? Oh, a society with infinite energy where everyone lived forever. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Every time I get on one of these videos, I start yawning. What is that about? I don't know. So, have I mentioned that I had a really good time yesterday in Santa Barbara? One of the great pleasures to my life, I mentioned earlier, was meeting new people. But it's not just the meeting of them that brings me joy. It's the conversations, the getting to know one another. It's the facial expressions, the nonverbal expressions. It's the joy. It's the acceptance. It's the welcoming. What is it that I love about being around other people? I think it's the shared experience. Quite often, it's the shared meaning. It's the cooperation. Sort of like I think it's the shared meaning. It's also about discovery. I'm always, believe it or not, I'm surprised pretty much most of the time when I communicate with people, when I'm around them. It's like I'm continuously surprised by them. It's like, why would they do that? Why would they say that? I was like, the curiosity abounds. And here's the thing. Fact is, people are not that what I call, I wish they were more authentic sometimes, because what I receive quite often are messages that are ambiguous. Like people say words that, I don't know, may have meaning to them. I think people say words that are quite often steeped in metaphor, poetry, and half statements. And a lot of the time what people say, I'm like, why did they use those words or that phrase? Human beings, such a mystery. I think that people tend to be guarded, and that being guarded is essentially baggage that people are holding and transmitting through all of history up until the present moment. Because why would it be that so many people are so closed off and so willing to withdraw in the face of any kind of relational stress? Yeah, you know what? The people who are living today are ancestors of those animals which avoided threats of harm. We are the skittish, we are the silent, and we are the ones that sort of sulk in the corner and stay there. And that's why we've survived as long as we have. We live longer, So I guess that explains it partly, why human beings are so prone to hiding themselves. There are animals that have camouflaged bodies to keep their presence secret. The fact is that in our environment, particularly the environment in the last 100, 200,000 years, has been pretty rough. So human beings, I think, are naturally pretty cautious genetically. And I think we have a lot of cultural baggage, because here's the thing, the past was actually pretty brutal. I mean, I just think of like World War One being particularly brutal. World War Two was brutal. The Victorian age, just huge amounts of emotional brutality. Um, if I go back further, there was a lot of like suppression and religious wars, and I don't know. There's there was the Spanish Inquisition, where people were just treated badly by other people. There was just so much hurt, the slavery. I mean, so it's really no wonder that people are so shy and skittish today. And I think for the most part, at least some people are trying to shed that coat of tension and secrecy. But the problem, I think, is that just people don't appear genuine a lot of the time. Surprisingly, sometimes they appear very genuine. I don't know. Human beings would just go back and forth. Sometimes it works for us, and sometimes it doesn't. So here's the reason I'm talking about this subject. I did go to an authentic relating group session yesterday, and we were talking about what it means to be vulnerable, what it means to be genuine, what it means to tell the truth about what's going on with you right now. And I don't know if I got any real distinct intellectual insights, but I was able to derive a couple of interesting thoughts about how being authentic and being vulnerable takes practice. It's not something that you can do overnight. People have limits in terms of their vocabulary and their sensitivity to their environment and to themselves. Oh my gosh. Maybe I need a glass of water or something. So, Em, I'm curious about how your day was yesterday. I'm curious about how your weekend's going to turn out. I'm curious about how my weekend's going to turn out. I know that Sunday is Father's Day, and I'm thinking about giving my father a phone call just to check in and see how he's doing. Father's Day was never really a big holiday for me to celebrate. I think I've only exchanged gifts with my dad on Father's Day just a handful of times. I kind of have an excuse though. My family grew up as Jehovah's Witnesses, and so basically no holidays were celebrated. So that means no birthdays, no Halloween, no Thanksgiving, no Christmas. And these days I think that's so sad. I know. I think that it's just unnecessary. And I think in life it's important to do as much celebrating as possible. Absolutely. In fact, if I have any advice to you, Emily, my advice is to continuously be in celebration mode because there's always something to celebrate. Every minute that you're alive is something to celebrate, not just every year or every decade. Oh, man. So I think I'm going to work out today. Going to go to the gym. I made a commitment to myself a couple days ago that I would go to the gym every single day, or at least try. I wasn't able to hit the gym yesterday because I just had so many things to do. Like I went to that AIAA meeting, and then I went to the Authentic Relating meeting in Santa Barbara. I just didn't have time to work out. Oh, but I'm thinking I'm definitely going to work out today, and I'm probably definitely going to work out tomorrow. So maybe I'll go and do a chest workout or something tomorrow. That sounds right. I think I'm going to do bike today sometime. That will entail riding about, I don't know, 14 miles on the bicycle and then doing some ab work. I don't know what I'm going to do for ab work anymore. So I'm really struggling with my ab exercises. I don't know what exercises are healthy for my back. It's really surprising how few exercises are good for your back. If I knew about them, I would do them. Maybe a face pull. Maybe that would be like the only good exercise for your back. I don't know. So, oh my gosh. After a year and a half of having braces, not having braces, is that me? I'm serious. I'm like continuously saying, is that my mouth? I don't know. It could be. So this morning I was eating breakfast and I discovered that I don't have any good tasting apples in my fridge. Oh no, I know. I need to get some apples stat. Now I have some apples. I've got some galas. And let me tell you, galas are okay. On a scale from 1 to 5, I would guess that the galas are about a 1 or a 2. I'm just not into galas. I really wish I were into galas, but I'm not. But, although, let me tell you something about eating apples. Not that you really care about it, but I think any variety of apple can provide a really good eating experience. I know. I've had red delicious and golden delicious apples that I thought were not going to taste good. Taste good. I know. I can't believe it. I've had, quality control sometimes with apples is kind of across the board. In general, the apples that I eat are very good, certainly. But I don't know. I can't really control when I'll be getting a good apple eating experience or a bad apple eating experience. You just have to try out each batch. I'm serious, because I've had good apple eating experiences with almost every variety of apple. I think I've even had a good gala. I know. It's hard to believe. I've had a good gala. Now, there are plenty of great Fijis out there, plenty of great Pink Ladies and Honey Crisps. I mean, those are amazing apples. An amazing array of Granny Smith apples are out there. The Ambrosia apple is also amazing. The Opal apple is amazing. There are so many good apples out there. And, I don't know, this whole branding thing, I'm not sure if it makes a whole lot of sense. After sampling a lot of different kinds of apples, I'm thinking that you can find a really good eating apple in nearly every variety. Absolutely. I think some varieties are harder to find good eating apples in, but you can find them. So I'm looking forward to my trip to Santa Cruz. It's like in 2 weeks, which is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm so looking forward to it. I love being on vacation. And the fact that I'm going to be on vacation for 2 weeks is something to love even more. But there is one thing I'm dreading a little bit. Now, I love to eat food of all kinds. I love food. I'm a lover of food. Every time I travel, it's just so easy to fall into eating poorly, eating highly processed foods, eating a lot of one food or another, right? The eating situation is just so unpredictable. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I don't know. And there's another thing. The workout situation is pretty unpredictable too. Like, I know I'm gonna go camping for 2 weeks in the mountains near Santa Cruz. And because I work out nearly every day at the gym, I kind of am looking for gyms I can go to regularly without spending an arm and a leg, right? So how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I find a gym to go to in different part of the state? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it. It's kind of funny. You know, diet and exercise are important, right? They're important methods for engaging in self-care. Though when you are traveling, diet and exercise are, I don't know, they're hard to come by in the sense that they're hard to control when you're traveling, when you're going from place to place. Who knows where you'll be or what you'll eat at any moment, you know, what kind of situation you'll be in, the availability of food and water. It's just, and of gyms, you know, places to work out, swimming pools. Like, where am I going to find a swimming pool to go swimming in? I mean, I actually know of a couple places to find a swimming pool. I don't know. It's just not going to be easy. So I'm a little concerned about that. I spend a lot of time dialing in my diet and exercise. And then when I go on vacation, it seems like everything goes out the window. That is an exaggeration because not everything goes out the window. Basically, I have to make a choice. I've got to make a choice. I got to ask myself, you know, am I going to, how much energy am I going to expend to make sure that I get my diet and exercise requirements met? You know, am I going to miss out on connecting with friends? Because those things take time and energy, you know, to pull together. They're not instantaneous. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get an ice chest. I might buy a nice, good size ice chest. The thing about ice chests is that they take so much room. Oh my gosh. And when a person camps, they also like need a lot of stuff, right? Or here's an example. I'm going to be camping for 2 weeks. And to make that happen, what am I going to do? Am I going to like take 14 pairs of socks, 14 pairs of underwear, 14 pairs of shirts, 14 pairs of pants, 14 pairs of pajamas? I mean, that's a lot of clothes. That's an entire wardrobe right there. So do I just transfer my entire wardrobe into my car? This is the issue. I think what I'll do is I'll just pack 7 days worth of clothes, and then I'll make a point to do some laundry halfway through. I mean, I think that may be my best hope for reducing the amount of clothing that I take with me. I got to do laundry. Maybe I'll just take 4 pairs of clothes and then do laundry. Yeah. 4 or 5 times, man. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You know, you know, you know, you know, recently I've just been noticing I like my smile. It's beautiful, isn't it? I kind of get the sense that I'm talking to myself. You know, I ask myself, you know, yeah, why are you doing this, Mick? Well, I want to talk to my daughter somehow. And now I also am quite aware that you may never watch these videos. And you know what? I'm okay with that because how often do teenagers listen to their parents anyway? Not that much. Not that much. So my videos are an objective measure of that, which is okay. So let's see what else is going on. So I'm preparing my costume for the solstice parade. If I get it done, like if I get my costume done today, there's a very good chance that tomorrow I might go to a water park. Yeah. Or an amusement park. I might go to Six Flags tomorrow. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking seriously about it. But of course, in order for that to happen, I've got to make a lot of progress on my costume. I really just have to sort of finalize stuff. I've got this interesting project where it's a pink Egyptian costume is what I'm putting together. And so I've got a lot of the elements. And one of the elements of my pink Egyptian costume are Christmas decorations. That's right. It's what is that metallic foil stuff called? Tinsel? It's tinsel. So I've got tinsel. I'm going to be adding tinsel to my Egyptian costume. And it's pink tinsel, and it's just, I don't know. I'm just trying to, I'm asking myself, how am I going to fit this in to my costume and how? There's a lot of creativity that goes into floats and costumes. I mean, today I was thinking about when the audience sees my costume, what emotion do I want them to most feel? And, I'd like them to feel a sense of, I don't know, awe and amazement. Yeah, that would be cool. I would also like them to feel a sense of cuteness, like neatness and cuteness, coolness. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter very much. It probably doesn't matter much at all. So, recently I've been reading a lot of amazing books. And they pretty much all have been dealing with psychology. I picked up this new book called The ABCs of Behavior, which I'm really loving. I think I might be already on like chapter 2 or 3. And I just picked it up a couple days ago. And this is a book about behaviorism. It's in the tradition of Skinner, and it talks a lot about behavior and how that behavior is conditioned. It talks about operant conditioning, things like that. Good stuff like that. And it helps to explain it better. This is a part of psychology that I've wanted to explore for a long time, but just haven't had the resources. I don't know where to go to talk about Pavlovian operant conditioning. There really wasn't. I guess I would have to go to the original sources, right? So the sources that existed, say, in the 1960s, 1970s. But what I was able to find is a treatment about behavioral psychotherapy written in modern language for a modern audience. So I'm really happy about that. And in fact, today, if I could spend some time reading that book, that would be amazing. I would be on cloud 9 if I could do that. One additional thing that I want to do this weekend is pick up some cloth for my sewing class. I've got a sewing class on Monday nights, every Monday night at Allen Hancock College. It's a quilting class. So I'm in the room with a bunch of other quilters. And in fact, what I need to do is watch some YouTube videos about how to sew, how to hand sew a quilt, quilted patterns. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what, I don't know what this is going to turn into. I've been having these fleeting moments, these fleeting ideas of decorating my Egyptian costume with flowers. Flowers and tinsel sound like a pretty awesome idea. And the question is, how can I pull something like that together? Flowers and tinsel. Can I do it? I might be able to do it. I'm not an expert at flower arranging. In fact, I need to take that class. There are flower arranging classes at Allen Hancock College. Do you like how I cut my mouth, my hand over my mouth when I'm trying to tell a secret? Shh, I don't want anyone else to hear me. This is a secret I'm telling you in confidence. So, yeah, if I could put flowers on my Egyptian costume, I would really like that. Maybe I can find some pink flowers. That ought not to be very hard. All I need is a glue gun. I need a lot of stick glue, a glue gun, and I can do it. So I'm thinking, I may not have a glue gun. I know. It's crazy to think. It's crazy to even imagine that I may not have a glue gun, but I think I don't have one. I think I legit don't have a glue gun. Why is that? I have no idea. I probably need to get one. Certainly, if I'm going to do some work on this costume and get it done by the end of the day today, I'm going to need a glue gun. Absolutely, I'm going to need a glue gun. Yeah, I'm going to get some jewels, some costume jewelry, some plastic jewels, and I'm going to stick them onto my costume with the glue gun. Oh, yeah. So I'm definitely going to need that. Definitely have to put that in my mind. So let's see. So I was talking about a book I was reading about psychology, the ABCs of behavior. I also am reading another book, and I think the book is titled "It's Great to Suck at Something." I think it's great to suck at something. That's what it is. So that book is all about what it means to fail and to do stuff, to do things, to do activities that you love despite the failure. And I really resonate with that idea. I think if some goal or behavior is important enough to do that you really want to do it, and I think it's wonderful that if you can find a behavior that you continuously fail at doing, but still, continue to do it anyway. I think because you enjoy it, regardless of the failure, I think that's awesome. I want to fail more often. Well, not really. I don't want to fail more often, but I want to feel passionate about some kind of behavior or activity that, I'm just not good at, but I just pursue anyway out of sheer enjoyment. Well, I'll tell you, I do that with my swimming. You ought to see me swim in the pool. I'm actually quite good. I've been swimming, weekly for the last 2 years or so. And I find myself, I think I'm a fairly accomplished crawling swimmer, the front crawl. Of course, I'm not excellent. Excellence in swimming is something that's obtained only after years and years and years of training and coaching. But I'm competent. I think I'm a competent swimmer. That's definitely something that I do, even though I'm not that good at it. I really would like to start doing more strokes, like the breaststroke and the butterfly stroke. Some of the stuff I just don't do. Like I don't do backstroke at all. I don't know. I just can't get into it. It's when I do the backstroke, my shoulders are in such a weird position. It's like, who reaches back there anyway? Who pulls underwater like that? I don't know. It's just such a weird thing to do. Breaststroke and butterfly, though, I could definitely spend some time working on those. It's tough for me to work on those because I don't know. I feel a little self-conscious when I do them in the pool. It's like, what the heck am I doing? I think as I get more accomplished in the pool, more relaxed swimming, it'll be easier and easier for me to practice more and more of these strokes that I'm not very good at. So recently I've been thinking about a few news articles I've been noticing in the news relating to global warming and climate change. And let me tell you, those articles are extremely distressing. Well, they're somewhat distressing, and that is I'm sort of minimizing that. It's clear from some of the indicators that the reporters are sharing about our external world that we are in big trouble as the human race. I think I read an article that said 2 gigatons of glacier ice melted yesterday in Greenland. Melted from ice to water in one day. And that this was like maybe not something rather remarkable, but a little bit unprecedented. This late in the year or something like that. Or maybe this early in the year. And it just struck me about how sea level is going to rise pretty dramatically over the next few years. And there will be flooding near the the ocean shores. And, human beings are just going to have to adapt. Maybe we'll have to start living in cities underwater like the Atlanteans. Oh, I don't know. But, the Earth has actually been warming up for a long time. We've just got finished with the last ice age 10,000 years ago. And we've been warming up ever since. And certainly since the Industrial Revolution, when we've been adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, we've definitely been warming up. So there's been a long warming up trend, and it just happens to be just really accelerating right now. I feel sorry for the nature's food web, the ecology of the planet, because that is going to be seriously strained and will likely lead to huge numbers of extinctions. And it's so sad, I wish human beings would really figure out a way to work together so that we can keep this planet alive. I don't know. I think people's priorities are a little messed up. I know that people are advocates for the oil industry and all that, but it's sort of like we're exchanging our entire planet and the future of all of our children in exchange for, say, $6 billion worth of profit, which in my mind seems like a drop in the bucket. I mean, that seems like almost no dollars. I mean, what we have in terms of our ecosystem and our planet and our children's future, I mean, it outweighs $6 billion in profits so dramatically that I don't know how anyone could make one can equate one with the other. So yeah, I know I sympathize with the human race, mainly because we've gone on. Here's the facts: energy's scarce. It's just scarce, and um, the energy that we have access to, and we're very good at securing, is energy that comes from hydrocarbons, right? Coal and oil. These are the ancient forests and the ancient plankton of ancient seas and ancient lands. Um, and all of that energy is energy that over millions and millions of years collected into these carbonaceous fuels. And really, they're the highest energy density fuels that we have on the planet. And so naturally, we're exploiting them because energy is actually kind of hard to come by. The sun is a very diffuse energy source. Wind power is also very energy diffuse. Wave power is energy diffuse. Variations in temperature, differences in temperature underneath the surface of the Earth. That, of course, is those temperature differences are very mild, very small. There just are not a lot of sources of energy out there, except for maybe nuclear, but nuclear has its own problems. So, I really sympathize with human beings. We just don't have a lot of options. And we pretty much have built our entire society on vehicles like cars and airplanes and motorcycles and boats that run on internal combustion engines. Almost our entire technology is built on these motors, on these IC motors, on these IC engines. I get it. And our heating, is almost entirely devoted to propane, natural gas, methane, things like that. So we've kind of painted ourselves into a corner in this culture where we're just sort of getting access to some of the to sources of energy that are as dense as they are. And there are, we have to really struggle and look for these sources of energy. Energy density, man. That's where it's at. It's too bad that energy is not more available. Thankfully, we are learning to exploit some of these renewable energy sources like wind and water and waves, geothermal, things like that. But regrettably, it's not that easy. And also, regrettably, we're sort of stuck in old-fashioned battery technology. We just don't have the creative ideas we need to come up with life-changing battery technologies. Really, if we could get battery technology sort of totally tested out and deployed, we could probably use lower dense energy sources. If we had battery power, the kind of battery power we needed. But we just don't have the battery power. That's the thing about life. We sort of have to invent everything on our own. I know. No one gave us the answers, the rule book for living on this planet. So we're kind of stuck having to figure it out on our own. And then we paint ourselves into corners. I know. It's the human experiment. Anyway, I'm going to start wrapping stuff up. I want to thank you for spending some time with me today as I sort of discuss my day and what I've been thinking about from a psychological perspective, from a philosophical perspective. Thanks for listening to what I had to say about climate change and some passing ideas I had about that subject. I do hope to get in the water sometime this weekend somehow, although I don't really have a clue as to what I'll be doing. I hope, Emily, that you have an amazing weekend. I wish you a happy Father's Day. That's coming up this coming Sunday. I wish you a happy birthday, which is coming up this month on the 21st of June, when you'll be 15 years old, which is amazing. I'll probably put together some kind of birthday cake with candles and balloons for you somehow, and maybe I'll videotape that and transmit that to you. I hope you have a wonderful day today, a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week, and an amazing summer vacation. And if there is anything that I can do to help make that vacation just a little bit more wonderful by, say, taking you out to get donuts or pizza, or taking you out to get ice cream or something like that, or tacos or nachos. I don't know if you're into nachos. I can be into nachos. If you're into any of that stuff, that would be fun. Or we could just go for a run around the Mission on the lower loop. That would make my day. That would make my month. That would make my year. Anyway, take care, girl. I love you very much. Bye-bye.